What's up, guys? Saturday night, I saw the new movie directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Now, I don't watch trailers for movies. I say this all the time. I didn't watch a trailer for this movie. I know Dakota Fleming was in it, and I know she got cast in something pretty big recently. I forgot what it was, but she got cast in something pretty big very recently. So her stock's about to go up. And good thing she got cast in something big, because I don't think this movie is gonna make her stock go up. This movie's like, man, like, you know, like this. I know this is the daughter of M. Night Shyamalan, so like you can tell like there's gonna be some bullshit. But when I saw those scores drop, fucking what was it, like a 25% critic score, 50% audience score, got a C- cinema score, like across the board, no one likes this fucking movie. And I was thinking, well, you know, it's a horror movie. It's a thriller. I can go in there and probably find something I like about it. And I'm going to be honest with you. Other than, I want to say her name right, because she was in that movie last year. That was Zach Cregger's directorial debut called Barbarian with Bill Skarsgård. And that movie was really good. So I want to get her name right, because she is a great actress. Georgia Campbell. She's the only redeemable thing about this movie. You put her in anything, she's going to be redeemable. The movie's automatically going to be redeemable. But other than her, I can't think of a single thing I liked about this movie. Dakota Fleming, I didn't really connect with her character, Mina. I didn't really connect with her backstory. I didn't really connect with, like, any of that. Like, all that shit was on deaf ears. I didn't connect with any of it. I didn't really, just the sound design, I guess it's okay. The creatures, like, man, every time there's a fucking creature that people want to hide and it moves quick, I always assume it's going to look like every other lanky fucking 8-foot, 8-legged spider, whatever the fuck creature that we see in all the other ones, you know? I feel like I don't want to say it's like it's becoming a trope that if you have a creature that moves really fast and travels in packs, it's going to be like some 8-legged spider thing. But every time it's some 8-legged spider thing. So it's like, I really didn't give a fuck about what the creature was gonna look like, because I didn't even watch the trailer. And I just assumed, based off how they were fucking moving, it was gonna be some like 8-legged spider bullshit, whatever the fuck, you know? I just assumed it, and I ended up being right. So I can't even say the creatures were cool, because it's just creatures that I've seen so many times over these last couple years. And I'm going to see him again when I go watch A Quiet Place Day 1. So I can't even say the creatures are cool. The main narrative, like the logic, just wasn't there. Okay, so they're trapped in the woods. They can't leave the woods. They don't really attempt to leave the woods. They make all these rules. And I expected, like, Dakota Fleming's character, Mina, to, like, at least go against some of them more than just go down a hole where there's light, and she just brings up a bike and says, oh, we're gonna use this bike to get out of the woods. And it's like, and then when we come to find out what was the point of that? Because if we know they can't get out the woods anyway, like, we know that it's like it's impossible. They've said it many times, it's impossible to get out of these woods unless you go a certain way. How's that bike gonna help them? Which way are they gonna go? They don't know which way to go. Now, we at the time, we thought they didn't know which way to go. But then we find out that one of the characters, Madeline, is actually one of the watchers this whole time. And she's been down there, and she knows everything to do. It's like, what the fuck? Why were you so pressed about that bike? Like, I guess you didn't want them to leave, but, like, you know they can't really go anywhere. So it's like, why didn't you just have them, like, try, and just so they could, like, I don't know. I guess you don't want them to keep trying, but it didn't really make sense. It's like, what was the point of bringing that, like, even doing that, if you knew it really wasn't going to do anything? You know it wasn't really a threat to you. Like, did she just want to, like, she could have, like, because they would have been riding around the woods, and they would have kept hitting the same bullshit, and they would have just came back, and they would have gave up on that. But I feel like really hammering on, like, really making the watchers to get upset by them not being able to do anything with the bike would have made them think, hey, we need to keep trying. I don't know. That's just what I would think, But hey. But other than that, like, other than them getting a bike from what the watchers, like, where they sleep at, that's the only, like, real rule that they go outside the boundaries on. Other than that, they really just listen to everything this character says, the character of Madeline says, because she is the oldest, right? And she says she's been there for a long time, right? So they keep going and going and keep listening to her. And then after, like, they break another rule, and the watchers are really mad this time, right? And then this fucking kid, another supporting character named Daniel, looks under the rug and he sees a fucking bunker. None of them has looked under this rug in 8 months that they've been there, assuming that's how long both Daniel and Georgia Campbell's character have been there. They never looked under that rug. So we got to assume they never looked under the rug. And then they get down there and they start watching all this stuff, and they realize that this dude was not there that long ago. He was there in 2009. All right? He was there in 2009. And then, like, I'm just going to make a long story short. The professor, the one that made all the landmarks in the movie that you see, that really, like, laid the foundation for all the logic in the rules of the forest. He had been down there in this bunker, and he would come up in a day and have them watch him. Okay, so he's been down there. And he even caught one and brought it down there with him. And he says he killed it and he killed himself. Where the fuck is his body? Who the fuck else is out there? That's what I want to know. Where was his body? How did they not think, where's his body, and where is that other thing's body? Why is there why is there just no signs of life here? Like, there should at least be a body or something. And if Madeline is the oldest person there, like, even when they started talking about this shit, before they even revealed that Madeline was one of the watchers, I was thinking, why is no one pressing this old bitch about how long she's been down here, what she's been doing, why she came out here, yeah. Why is no one pressing her about any of this stuff? You were the oldest one here, and you're the leader. You should know a little bit more than what you're letting on, So it's just like all these leaps of logic you just got to take so many logic jumps for the shit to make halfway sense, even if you wanted to make sense, but none of it makes sense. So even if you want to, like, believe it, and you want to like this movie, you want it all to make sense, you got to jump. You got to take so many leaps. That just make it make sense. And it's an exhausting thing to do. So they finally figure out how to get out of there. And as they're running and they're getting out of there, of course, Daniel, one of the supporting characters, is going to get fucking killed at the end, because of course you can't have a somewhat fake out happy ending anymore. I don't know why a lot of horror movies don't really utilize that. Like, it's always one or two characters have to die, and then they do the fake out. Wouldn't it make more sense to do, like, I feel like that would be more refreshing nowadays. Have, like, a real happy ending, then do the fake out, instead of one or two characters die at the end, then you do the fake out, and then you do the twist. I feel like that would be more refreshing. A more refreshing thing to do, but most horror movies still don't do that. So they get back to town. Mina goes back to her apartment. The characters who we think go about their way, and then Mina, remember, the professor was down there. This dude taught at the university. He used all his resources to build that bunker down there. And in the tapes, I didn't mention this before, in the tapes he says, when you find this, go to my office at the university and destroy all my work. How the fuck is this motherfucker's office still, like, there 16 or 20 years later? No one tried to take that nice ass office from him in a big ass university? And then they said, kids started a fund to keep it going. So you know what I think? Because I know how these motherfuckers do with these horror movies. If there is any, like, passing connection made to another character, like, if anyone ever says in a horror movie, this and this person did this for this main character, that must mean that in some way that we're going to see them down the line. So whoever started that fund to keep it going, I think that was the plan, because if there's any hope in the world, this movie won't get a sequel. Don't even humor it. And if you do, it's got to be 5 to 10 years down the line when this girl actually knows how to direct and write a script. Because, like, this shit right here just doesn't make any sense. So for 16 to 20 years, this dude's office has been left alone. No one even went in it. So Like, I think that might be the biggest logic jump you can take out of this whole fucking movie. That for 16 or 20 years, no one fucked with this guy's office. No one even looked in it. So, yeah. Like I said, this movie has like, it's just, a lot of it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. This doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not scary. It's not that interesting. And the acting overall, other than the Georgia Campbell, isn't all that strong. And it's not going to leave a lasting effect. Like, I'm surprised I still remember the characters' names. So yeah, The Watchers, I'll give it a 2 out of 10. From a technical filmmaking aspect, it's not a poorly made film technically, but in every other place, it lacks or just straight up fails. And after a while, all that shit starts to add up. It's not an ugly film. It's not like it seemed like it's made by someone who's like, this totally incompetent, you know? Like, you can tell, like, this girl knows how to use the camera. She knows how to do everything. Like, you can tell she knows how to use the camera. But it's all the other things that come into making a strong narrative and a strong film overall that she's just not there. So yeah, The Watchers, 2 out of 10. If this movie does get a sequel, I hope it's in 5 to 10 years where she's like got some time to really work on all these things that she failed at. Because there's a lot of things that she can be learned from all the criticism she's probably getting about this movie. So yeah, The Watchers, 2 out of 10. Peace.